I'm going to show you a really easy trick on how to get these great ghostly distant textures and ambient beds in your tracks using pre-fader sends. Super easy to do. This technique was all over 90s ambient, atmospheric drum and bass, etc. Let me show you how. A pre-fader send lets you route your signal to an effect track before the track's volume fader. This means even if you turn the fader all the way down on the track so you hear nothing on the track, you'll still hear the effect when using a pre-fader send. In essence, if you do this, send something to an effect track, drop the volume of the fader on the channel all the way down, you're gonna get 100% wet signal. Take this example here. I have a Korg Triton on this track here, and it's playing a single note. And then I have an effect track here where I have a reverb 100% wet. Now, what I can do is send the Triton to this effect track here by just increasing this send. But if I drop the volume of the fader on the Triton track, we don't hear anything anymore on the effect track. However, if I very simply right-click this and change the send from post to pre, even though the fader on the Triton track is all the way down, I'm hearing a 100% wet signal on that effect track. Now, why I think this works is when you send a synth pad or tonal element through this method, the results often feel like it's coming from nowhere. You kind of lose the attack of the sound and end up with just a wash of evolving atmosphere. It's ghostly, distant, perfect for ambient, cinematic, or deep atmospheric drum and bass. Now, I have some examples here in more of a built-out track where a bunch of my elements here, if we look at my mix bus at the bottom, right, these elements here have the faders on the tracks turned all the way down, but we're sending them to effect channels in pre-fader mode. So we end up with all of these elements in kind of this ghostly like texture, and we can combine that with some more dry sounds, and it really just helps pad out and bed your atmosphere. So we end up with something like this. So it's a very simple but really effective technique, and you can start to, pick elements from a track that would sound great in that type of mode. I found things like pads typically sound really good, or just single notes played low on the keyboard here. So something from a Triton like this sound here. Again, we're sending to this effects channel here, pre-fade, track volume all the way down, but if we brought it back up, it just creates a, again, much more distant, kind of thinned out ghastly sound, which is great for just creating that type of ambient bed. And then you can even look into things like automating in the track, bringing back up the volume of that track, so it's like a gradual fade in. And that's kind of it, folks.